Good morning, everyone. My name is CJ Amoto. I'm the last reporter in the Gestalt psychology. Law of figure ground. We tend to pay attention and perceive things in the foreground first, as stimulus will be perceived as separate from its ground. The law of figure ground is a principle of Gestalt psychology, which states that people tend to segment visual sense into a main object that stands from its ground. This principle helps explain how we perceive and distinguish objects within our visual field, emphasizing that our perception organizes elements in the foreground and background to create a coherent image. Insight learning. Gestalt psychology adheres to the idea of learning taking place by discovery or insight. The idea of insight learning was first developed by Wolfgang Kohler, in which he described experiment with apes where the apes could use boxes and sticks as tools to solve problems. Gestalt psychology that learning occurs through discovery or sudden insight. Wolfgang Kohler first developed the idea of insight learning through experiment with the apes, demonstrating that they could solve problems by using tools like boxes and sticks, indicating an understanding of the problem structure. The banana is out of reach but can be reached by climbing on jumping from a box. Only one of the collar apes could solve this problem. A much more difficult problem which involved the stacking of boxes was introduced by Kohler. This problem required the apes to stack on box on another and master gravitational problem by building a stable stack. Kohler also gave the apes sticks which they used to rake onto the cave. Sultan Coupler, very intelligent apes, were able to master the two-stick problem by inserting one stick into end of the other in order to reach the food. In which these problems, the important aspect of learning was not reinforcement, but the coordination of thinking to create a new organization of materials. Kohler refers to the behavior or insight of discovery learning. Next slide. Learning occurs when the individual perceives the relationship of the elements before him and reorganize this element and comes to a greater understanding or insight, which is learning happen when an individual reorganize in relationship between elements in the situation, reorganize reorganize these elements and achieve a deeper understanding or insight. Kohler proposed the views that insight follow from the characteristic of objective under consideration. This theory suggested that learning could occur when the individual perceived the relationship of the elements before him and reorganize these elements and comes to a greater understanding or insight. This could, without reinforcement, and once it occur, no review, training, or investigation is necessary. Significantly, insight is not necessarily observable by another person. Gestalt principle and the teaching learning process. An individual has the inner and outer forces that affect perceptions and also learnings. Inner forces include his own motivation, attitude, and feelings. Outer forces include the attitude and behavior of the teacher and classmates. The Sikh Gestalt principle not only influence perception, but they also impact on learning. Other psychologists like Kurt Lewin expanded on Gestalt psychology. His theory focusing on life space adhere to Gestalt psychology. He said that an individual has inner and outer forces that affect his perception and also his learning. Inner forces include his own motivation, attitude, and feelings. Outer forces may include the attitude and behavior of teachers and classmates. Also, these forces interacted and impact on the person's life learning. Mario Palito, an Italian psychologist, writers about the revelation of Gestalt psychology to education. In conclusion, Gestalt theories focus on the experience of contact that occur in the here and now. It considers with the interest the life space of teachers as well as the student. It takes interest in the complexity of experience without neglecting anything but accepting and amplifying all the emerges. It stimulates learning as experience and the experience as the source of learning. It appreciates the effect the affections and meaning that we attribute to what we learn. Knowledge is conceived as continuous organization at the and arrange or of informations according to needs, purpose, and meanings. It asserts the learning is not accumulations but remodeling or insight, autonomy, and freedom, or the student is stimulated by the teachers. The time necessary for assimilation and for cognitive and existential remodeling is respected. The contact experience between teachers and students is given value, and authentic meeting based on sharing ideas and affections. That's all in our report, and thank you.